Okay, quick Q&A here. Let's have a look. Brittany King says, can you talk about how common it is for reverse progesterone to be at a 9 and then rise to 16? Well, the answer is it's not very common, but it does happen. The problem with progesterone levels is that people want to come up with a progesterone number and then say, okay, my puppy's ready for my dog's ready for a C-section in X number of days. Unfortunately, progesterone levels don't work that way. They are very, very variable. So, I had a dog the other day that was at a 16, and it was one day away from what you'd think would be the right whelp date. And the next day it was 1.5. So the point here is it can drop dramatically, and it can drop very slowly, and it can go the wrong direction. So all that I can say to you is this. Progesterone tests are very useful to make sure you're in the right place, but they are no good for predicting how long that right place is from right now. So all we do is take a progesterone level and look for a level that's 3 or less, and we know we're in the safe zone. That's it. And I say reverse progesterone. It's the same progesterone test. There's nothing special about reverse progesterone, so it's a different kind of test. It's not. And it's pretty much the same on most machines, because almost all machines are about the same on the low end. For instance, a mini Vitus is a much higher number on breeding, whereas an IDEX would be a 15, a mini Vitus is like 28.5. But on the low end, they're almost all exactly the same. So basically, if you're at a 3 or less, you're in a safe place. Anna Hengsterman, I have a girl in heat now. She'll be ready to breed tomorrow. Could you overnight an AI kit if I bought it from you? Oh, okay. Yes, we can. We can overnight stuff, but remember that the cutoff point, FedEx comes and picks stuff up around 2:30 in the afternoon. So if you want something overnighted and you let us know about it before noon, there's a good chance it'll go out. If you let us know about it after noon, it probably will be the next day. But we do take care of the overnight shipments first. Other shipments, wait in line. So people ask me, if you do a regular shipment from my breeder supply, when will it go out? Within a few days, but it probably won't go out the same day unless it's an overnight. Someone's saying thank you very much for the help. You're welcome. That's Stephanie. You're welcome, Stephanie. Ben Dover does not like our videos because there's too much noise. Yeah, I apologize for that. The problem is that we're doing a lot of these things when we're driving, and because of that, there is a lot of background noise. So he mentions the noise-canceling microphones. I don't know if that'll work in this situation or not. Well, I might give that a shot. And we basically do it with our phone. We just put the phone up on the dashboard with a clamp, and off we go. So none of this is scripted. They're not, they could certainly be a lot more professional, but you wouldn't get anywhere near as many as we're doing. So this is rather raw organic content. It's supposed to be all about giving you good information, not so much about well, look at me here. I'm in an RV right now doing this. So I don't have a production team. Nobody came and put makeup on me. It is what it is. So I apologize, but we're doing the best we can. Unfortunately, probably not going to do a lot better, but we'll try. Elaine Arnaud, best diet for a doodle pregnant with 12 pups. The answer is anything that she'll eat. So 12 pups, she's going to get pulled down. We do start giving a bit of calcium in the form of cottage cheese or powdered goat's milk on her food for the first few days. We don't overdo that. Especially the cottage cheese, it can cause a loose stool. But it's really about we like a high protein diet, which is puppy food. And it's really about giving her something that she wants to eat. And dogs can be finicky at this time. But you definitely want a dog, obviously they've got to turn calories into puppies, and they need lots of calories. So I don't think there's any magic formula of a food that you should use. We use Biljack. We've had great success for that. They really like eating it. You can't find Biljack if you're west of the Rockies. It's in the frozen section at Walmart. It's a soft food. But it's all about getting them to eat food. And I don't think there's any magic, the people have got formulas for various different things they give, fine. But look, you and I, we can live on hamburgers, French fries, steaks, vegetables, and nothing else. Our bodies will convert whatever's there into the necessary things that we need to build muscle, bone, and brains. Anuka KB, so what would be a 6.5 the next day? So typically after a 6.5 and 8. So once you've got to ovulation around a 5, it is going up about 50 to 70% every day. So when you're at a 5, next day you're typically an 8. But remember, this is just rules of thumb. This is not a guarantee this is exactly what it's going to be. It's going to vary, but typically Typically at a 6.5, you're about a day and a half away from breeding that dog. Aaron Johnson's mad at me. They keep on with this. What he says makes no sense. It's better to have and breed a merle who comes with trickiness to breed versus a brindle. He just convinced me to stay away from any kind of merle. So the hate on the brindle dogs are purely capitalistic. Look, we keep on about this, and I'm kind of getting bored with it, to be honest with you. Look, this is what I'm saying is that we don't have brindles in our lineup. And the reason we don't have brindle is because it does not let us produce tan points. And we have great success with tan-pointed dogs. Is it a capitalistic thing? Everything's a capitalistic thing. Look, we're not doing this just for shits and giggles, right? We're doing this because we have fun doing it. We like what we do, and we like the money that it produces. We can't afford to do this and not make money. And one of the things that stops us from making as much money is the brindle gene. Nothing wrong with brindle. There's lots of them in the show ring. I love brindle dogs. I keep on saying this. And you know, just, you don't have to take my advice on any of this stuff. You know, if you love brindles, breed brindles. It's not going to offend anybody, and there'll be a market for them. That's it. Rajar Cardio, help me out, please. I have a surgical AI, and my plan was to start taking her to the vet on day 60, but of course on Sunday she started having puppies on her own on the 59th day. She had 5 puppies naturally, and the 5th one didn't make it, okay, because she took a break from having them. That's how do we avoid this with her next time? Well, look, you don't give me the details of the front story as what you were doing here, but this is what you should be doing. You should be taking a temperature about a week out from when you expect whelp to be. Whelp being 61 days from a correct AI date. And it can vary because you may not have got your AI date correct. But the point here is there's a number of things that let you know you're in the right place. Her temperature, her behavior, is she eating food, is she nesting, is she panting, what her progesterone level is. Use all of those things to come in on the right date. You didn't use all those things, and because of that, you unfortunately got the wrong date, and you had puppies sooner than you thought, and you lost puppies over this. So next time, use all of that information to try and decide when is the right time to start thinking about having a C-section. Stupid funny, Tammy. With all your respect, you sound like a hypocrite sometimes. You claim to breed dogs based on structure. However, you clearly say many times you prefer non-brindles. You claim it's because of tan points. We're back to the same thing again. Please stop claiming you do it for the structure. That's saying brindles have poor structure. No, we're all getting confused on this again. I'm going to state it one more time. There's nothing about color that dictates the structure of a dog. The structure of a dog is what you see, and it typically is genetics, and it comes from the parents. So structure is very important, but so is color as well. Color is definitely part of what generates income when you're selling dogs. So just, decide what you want to do. If you're in the show ring, you're not going to have what people are calling exotic colors. You're not going to have blues and tan-pointed dogs and merles and fluffies and pinks and all these things are not happening in the show ring. And those dogs have got great structure. And brindle's very prevalent there. Probably half the dogs you see there are brindle. So just keep an eye on what you're trying to get done and go for it. If that means that you want to produce dogs that are in the show ring, then don't worry about blues and these other things. If you want to breed dogs and you're more concerned about what the value of the puppies are, then you may want to stay away from brindle. And if you don't care about any of those things, but you just simply care about structure, then don't worry about the color at all and breed for structure. So you've got a number of different ways you can go, and they're all good answers. Okay, can't get to replies. Rosanna Herrera, is Bill Jack liver treats? No, Bill Jack is a soft food that's frozen that you could buy at Walmart's, and so it's just another form of food that you can feed dogs. It's not liver treats. Oops. That was from Gemma. No, that wasn't. That was from Rosanna. Gemma, love the videos. I'm going to breed a new pup in a few years. She's a pied black and white, but with some brown flecks. So I'm assuming brindle. Yes. So most of the time, if you see a black and white dog, it is a brindle. It is a brindle dog. So that would be a brindle pied. It could be a AA recessive black, which would not have any flecks in it. But if it's got some flecks in it, it has probably one copy of brindle, and that will show up in puppies. And typically, you'll pass it on to half the puppies. She also has blue and tan and brindle from her parents. I want to avoid pied and brindle. Yeah, so you say you're going to get DNA. I'm not going to read this a whole huge thing here, so I'm not going to go through all this right now. But here's the thing. Go get the DNA done. You say you're going to do that. That is a secret. Because here's the thing. Just because the parents were something doesn't mean that she got that. For instance, give you an example, brindle or merle. Just because you have a brindle mum doesn't mean that you've got a brindle pup. Just because you had a merle mum or dad doesn't mean that your dog, although there were merles in the litter, doesn't mean that your dog has the merle gene. Go get the DNA. With the DNA, now you're armed, you're in a position where you can decide what makes sense to breed that dog and what the likely outcomes are. So start by DNA. That's the way to start on this. Erika Zelia, how long do you keep feeding mum cottage cheese after she has pups? 3 days. We don't just keep plugging cottage cheese away indefinitely, because you tend to get a loose runny stool if you do that. The reason putting cottage cheese in there is two reasons. One is it seems to make the food more palatable, and that gets the dog more interested in eating food, and you want high calorie intake, especially when she's got lots of puppies and producing milk. And the other thing is if she's got lots of puppies and producing a lot of milk, her calcium levels can go down, and that can cause eclampsia. And the one way to help that is to give her more calcium in her food. I don't know how digestible, well, not how digestible, I don't know how effective cottage cheese is in raising calcium levels. I mean, there are ways that if a dog gets in trouble that you do raise calcium levels by giving IVs with calcium in it. So, it's like these are oral medications that we take for various things, and sometimes you wonder whether or not they're very effective because you don't know whether they're really getting in, maybe just being passed through the gut. So I really don't have any solid evidence that cottage cheese is a great thing, but we use it and we have good luck with it. So it's like one of those anecdotal things. If it's working, you keep doing it. There we go. Thanks for watching. Bye. For watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.